and welcome back to Face Conversations. Today I'm speaking with the lovely Kay Scorah. Kay is a feminist and describes herself as a dancing nerd who is passionate about equality. She feels that the ability to see the world through the experience of others can be one of the greatest gifts, and images show herself through the eyes of others. So I love how those two things that she believes in really marry up, and images help her piece together her extraordinary life story. Today, Kay is talking about an image of her from 30 years ago, and how this extraordinary image has helped her reconnect with her empowerment, and how fiery and passionate she was as a child. Enjoy. Kay, welcome to Face Conversations. Great to have you here. Tell me about your picture.
Hi, Kath. Thank you so much for having me. So the picture that I've chosen is, in fact, a still from a TV show. Back in 1990, just after the election of John Major, I was in my mid-30s, and I used to get what I call tokened a lot. So as a woman who was fairly high profile in the media, I used to get thrown in front of cameras usually with a panel of middle-aged white males and allowed to say what I thought. And someone took this still from it where, I'm dressed in my business suit and all of that, and I've got my makeup on. And the look on my face just speaks volumes. I am looking at these guys on the panel with such disdain that it is really embarrassing. And I thought I was being so professional. I thought I was, not letting my feelings show. I just thought they were such idiots. And I think the expression written all over your face was actually created for me, because this picture just reminds me that I cannot hide my feelings.
Brilliant. Can we have a look at your picture, please?
Here I am. Here is you are a complete idiot talking complete shite face.
I love this picture. There's very much the Kate Bush about you, I think, in this picture. Do you remember what you were thinking at that moment?
I wouldn't say I remember accurately what I was thinking, but I went back and watched the footage because I have it. And I was thinking something like, are you ever going to stop just filling time here and say something that you really think? Because I was listening to these people just going on and on, telling us how clever they were, how many facts they knew, but not really telling us how they felt about John Major, how they felt about the election process, anything like that. They were just telling us how clever they were.
Mm. And the person that gave you this still, did they explain to you why?
The person that gave me the still said pretty much what I said at the beginning of this, which was, this has been your problem. They framed it as, this is my problem. This has been your problem, Kay, all your life. The reason that you really couldn't stay in the organizational world, you couldn't stay hanging around politicians, was that you cannot hide your feelings.
And how did that make you feel?
It actually made me feel really powerful, Kath. Because I've reached a stage, I'm 66 now. I've reached a stage where I actually don't give a stuff. And I am really glad that I didn't get sucked into the establishment. I'm really glad that my face and my body is so transparent that I can't pretend. And there was a time in my life when I wished I could, I wished I could belong. But now I'm really glad that it didn't happen.
And how do you feel when you look at the image now?
When I look at the image now, I do feel slightly embarrassed. I'm like, oh, girl, really? Couldn't you even try to hide your feelings? I feel very proud of myself that I was there holding my own in that environment.
And do
And
you look at your picture regularly? Is it something that you refer back to?
it's since I rediscovered it, which is just a couple of years ago, I have looked at it quite a lot. And there's something here which I'm going to find quite difficult to say. When I look at it, I realize that I looked good, and I never thought I did. You
Gosh.
know, I I had a really low opinion of my physical appearance. And I guess a lot of women will relate to this. When I was at school, I was the skinny little one. Everyone called me a tomboy. Up until I was about 23, I used to get mistaken for a boy on buses and things. So I look at this and I go, oh shit, I was gorgeous. And
Mm,
I didn't know it.
wow, that's beautiful.
Mm.
Tell me why that's difficult for you.
I whoa, why it's that difficult for me? I think I let people put me in a box. The clever, funny-looking girl, and I mean that's okay. But why did I have to be in any sort of a box? It's just, yeah, we're always putting people in boxes, aren't we?
Mm,
And that was the box I allowed myself to be put in, which wasn't the worst box in the world. But I just wonder how much more I could have done with my life creatively, in terms of my public profile, if I'd had faith in my whole self and not just in my intellect.
mm. So, how does this image now spur you on where you are in your life these days?
Well, I think it's really important for me to keep showing and telling people how I feel about stuff.
Mm,
It's a sign to me that the years I spent trying to cover up how I feel, trying to belong, be sensible, be in control, I don't need to bother with that anymore. So I'm becoming, my family will wince at this, I'm becoming even more outspoken. I don't care what I say and who I say it to. I mean, I don't try to hurt people's feelings, but I'm becoming even more outspoken.
brilliant. And what would you say to Kay in that picture now?
I would say to Kay, uh, say to those men and to that panel moderator, excuse me, I'm speaking, which is something that I never said. I allowed myself to be interrupted. When I was interrupted, I would pull the face. But to that Kay, I would say, excuse me, I haven't finished. I'm speaking here. Would you let me finish, please?
Mm. I can really hear that. Yes, and I can see in that picture that that's what you want to say as well.
Oh,
Mm,
yes.
mm, mm. So how do you feel that you as a person has changed since that you were first shown this image?
I have, I've become much better at not doing things because I should. I've become much better at not being around people that don't make me feel good about myself. Certainly during lockdown, or not lockdown, but since the pandemic began, this sounds awful, I've been cleaning out my friend's cupboard. Most people have been going through their wardrobes, cleaning out clothes they don't wear anymore. I've just been looking through my friend's cupboard and going, who makes me feel good? Who do I have to struggle with? Around whom do I have to pretend to be someone else? right, they're gone. So it's left me with this sort of precious jewel box of friends and family who just allow me to be myself.
That's amazing. I love how your journey from being given this picture to where you are now has given you that. I think that's amazing, and I see so much in young Kay in that picture, and I love how she continues to kind of put fire in your belly.
You know, that's really important as well, that up until the age of about 17 or 18, I was really fiery. Maybe even later, maybe sort of early 20s. But then I kind of dumbed myself down a bit and tried to behave a bit better. And I'm really glad I've rediscovered the really young me, because she was awesome. I mean, you know, you have a daughter, you know this, that there is a fire in young women that I think sadly they sometimes have to put out for a while. And I'm really glad I got her back.
And how much do you feel that this image has helped you do that?
I think this image has really helped me to do that. You know, when I see what I was really thinking at the time written all over my face, it's like, why didn't you say it? Why did you keep quiet for so long? And now I'm very impatient anyway. And this image has just made me think, that's 30 years ago. Okay, come on. Like, get her back, hurry up. I've taken way too much time.
Yeah, I think it can be hard to find our voice if we feel that we don't have one, or it's been squashed out, or it's been quietened down. I think it's really, really powerful when we do find that again. And then, boy, have we got a lot to say.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's brilliant. I love it. I absolutely love it. Kay, thank you so much for talking to me today. It's been wonderful. How has it been talking about your picture?
This has been really great because I've realized things about the picture that I didn't realize before you started asking me your brilliant questions. And yeah, it's been really lovely. And of course, I'm really glad that Kath Chapman is still in my jewel box of friends.
Me too. Was it touch and go for a while?
Never. There was never any doubt about that one.
Oh, bless your heart. Well, Kate, it's been an absolute joy. Thank you ever so much for joining me.
Thank you, Kath. This was great.
Such a lovely interview with Kay. I really, really enjoyed hearing about her image and how that still from the film from 30 years ago still serves her today and reminds her of who she was as a teenager, her fire in her belly, and her refusal to be anything other than who she is. That empowerment is just amazing. Really enjoyed speaking to Kay. If you have an image that you'd like to talk about on face-to-face conversations, please do get in touch.